2 months ago, a mod for GTA Vice City called the Backstabber Blues was released. The mod was created by Captain Northstar, who single-handedly developed this excellent mod. It is a typical total conversion mod, transforming some of the buildings in Vice City into completely new ones, with modded interiors that players can freely explore. There's also a new story told from the perspective of a character well known to Vice City fans, Lance Vance. The mod is being released chapter by chapter, so we can now play the first chapter. It lasts between 3 and 4 hours, depending on whether you want to try out the extra content or just get a taste of the storyline. I'm Schedule and this is a review of the first chapter of the Backstabber Blues mod. I warmly invite you to watch. Let's start this review with the most important aspect, the storyline. I will try not to give anything in this review, though there may be glimpses of gameplay in the background, so be warned. If you want to play this mode later, I would advise you to skip ahead to the point currently visible on the screen. The plot of the Backstabber Blues, or rather its first chapter, presents events familiar from Vice City plot, but from the perspective of fans' favorite Lance Vance. An interesting touch is the very introduction to the story, in which Lance and Victor meet with Colonel Cortez and present a plan for a deal at Viceport. Victor, to put it mildly, is angry and disappointed with Lance, mainly because the buyers of the goods turn out to be the Forley family. During the flight to the location, you can hear the brilliant track "In the Air Tonight" by Phil Collins playing in the background. It is from Lance's perspective that we witness the failed deal between the Forley family and the Vance brothers, Victor's last moments, and the journey Lance must undertake to meet Vice City's protagonist Tommy Vercetti in the alleyway and find those responsible for his brother's death. I really enjoy the plot of the first chapter. It's clear the author has thought it through carefully. Particularly surprising are the moments where the story intersects with the main plot of Vice City. I don't wanna say literally, but there is a mission where we follow Tommy Vercetti's actions. When I saw it for the first time, I smiled. I know who did it.
Oh, oh, here I come. Oh, here I come. Oh.
Dialogues are well written. There are frequent references to other GTA games, both in the form of quotes and subtle allusions. For example, to Vice City stories, where Lance mentions the youngest brother Pete, who suffers from asthma. I was also amused by a short piece of text concerning the game's eating mechanics. Yes, Lance can gain and lose weight, but more on that later. To quote, "Unlike alcohol, food is not addictive, but be careful eat too much and you'll become fat like Gonzalez." Yeah, so it's very funny notification about mechanics of food eating. Yeah, that's very hilarious. The cutscenes are presented in the form of a visual novel. You can read the text at your own pace and move on by pressing the space bar. It's a simple but brilliant solution. I would compare to the Dion, where the dialogue often disappeared too quickly. Here, the problem has been solved perfectly. You read at your time and decide for yourself when to go to the next one. Brilliant way. Brilliant way. Another awesome thing is the mini tutorial, which explains the key mechanics in an accessible way. Importantly, it's integrated into the main mission, so we don't waste any time. We are doing two things at once. The Malibu Club serves a hub for information and gossips. It plays a key role in the first chapter and drives the plot forward. It is there that we meet the characters who will help Lance hunt those responsible for ruining the deal. Lance also has access to some great vehicles, a modified Infernos with the spoiler seen in the beta, and a chopper customized to his style, a big plus for the references to Vice City stories. Both vehicles are canon. During the game, we can buy business and houses, each with a unique interior. In addition to the main storyline, there are also 3 side missions. Every mission is different. For example, in one, we collect evidence in a falling apart car, racing against the clock. In another, we eavesdrop on familiar characters from an 80s TV series. The end of the chapter reveals who is behind the attack on the deal and introduces a mini game I haven't seen in any mod before. No spoilers, you have to experience it for yourself. To sum up, the storyline of the first chapter is very well thought out and nothing breaks the immersion. If Rockstar Games had released DLC for Vice City, I would imagine it might look exactly like this. The first chapter, Backstabber Blues, has 3 side missions. In the first mission, you are introduced to the lawyers. They ask you to gather evidence scattered around the area as quickly as possible. The catch here is that you have to collect it using junkers. So what do I mean by junkers? Vehicles such as Clover are trashed, Sanchez and so on. It's not so easy, and I must add that the police will start chasing you if you fail to collect this evidence within the specific time. In the second mission, your task is to deliver electronics found inside vans. There are similar tasks in Vice City stories which also involve stealing valuable electronics for businesses run by Victor. So the second mission shows you how to earn money in the first chapter. The third and final side mission was a bit of a letdown, as your main task is to cause a massacre at the police station in Washington Beach. What I liked the most, however, was this reference to Sonny Crockett and Ricardo Tubbs from the popular 1980s TV series Miami Vice. Aside from the missions, you can buy a few properties, get a dozen or so outfits for Lance, listen to new songs on the Vice City for Lovers radio, take part in motorbike and car races. You can also change your paint job to your personal vehicles. Lance Vance loves drinking alcohol, so you have opportunity to drink some alcohol, but be careful, there are some consequences. Yes, and I mentioned before, Lance can gain weight, so you have to be careful, do not eat too much. Look at the upper left notifications. Now you can see a difference between chubby Lance and slim Lance. And you can purchase a business involving collecting free cards from a list. A very similar activity to that in Vice City Stories, but here you won't have to search for these vehicles. There are special missions. And did I mention that Lance can swim? Thanks to that single fact, you already know that Lance is better than Tommy. To sum up, I like the fact that there are still plenty of activities to do outside the main storyline. My only minor complaint is about the final side mission, which doesn't introduce anything interesting. In the next chapter, I would like to mention the significant changes to the map in this mod. Let's start with Ocean Beach. The neon signs on almost every building look fantastic. You can really feel the 80s vibe straight away. There is a new shop here where you can buy extra outfits. On the left, you will see a new billboard advertising a hair product. And as you drive further south, on the right, another billboard featuring the band Love Fist. Another open interior is Barghini's, which serves alcohol. At the end of the street, you will find the Mason Winnie Fall restaurant. In Vice City Point, the mod's outro has fixed a mistake made by Rockstar Games. In the original Vice City, there is no fire station on the first island. In Backstabber Blues, it's been added. It is located in Vice Point, opposite the shopping center. Not far from there is also Fernando Martinez's authorized shop, Medallion Man. Among the smaller changes, it's worth mentioning the restored billboards from Vice City Stories and additional neon signs in some locations. To sum up, the first island captures the 80s vibe even more effectively. It's great to see the original Vice City developers' mistake corrected, as well as the chance to visit new venues and soak up the city's atmosphere. It's a bit of shame that the biggest changes have been concentrated mainly on a single street, whilst the rest have only been slightly refreshed. On the other hand, the second island hasn't been touched yet. But we already know that the action in the next chapter will move to Little Haiti. Time for a cool topic about vehicles in Backstabber Blues. The first vehicle you will likely spot is Lance's personal car. As I mentioned earlier, Lance has modified Infernos that bears a striking resemblance to the Infernos from the Vice City beta. Vance's chopper is the same two-wheeler that appeared in Vice City Stories with various modifications. The next new vehicle is the Yardi Lobo from GTA 3. A nice touch here is the additional spare wheel at the rear of the car. Another new car, not featured in any previous GTA game, is the Thunder. It's a small compact, but don't let the vehicle's size fool you. The Thunder is bloody fast. Interestingly, it's a 2-stroke engine, which means the engine sound is from PCJ 600. Fans of the Yakuza series may recognize this little car, as the developer extracted this vehicle from Yakuza 0 and ported it to the renderware engine. The Polaris V8 from Vice City Stories has also returned. While playing Vice City Stories, you've probably spotted a billboard featuring an unknown vehicle called the Insurrection Turbo more than once. The author has added this car, isn't that brilliant? Actually, it's a 1-to-1 replica of Ruiner from GTA 5. The biggest thing I don't like about this car is that it doesn't really fit in with the other vehicles. Even though the author has reduced the numbers of polygons on this car, so he created a low poly version, there are still too many details. That's it for the vehicles. I will now move on to the weapons. The first new weapon is the Avenger, which is typical Desert Eagle. The author has also added a cane, which is also available at the hotel in Ocean Beach.
My dad will give you anything. Don't hurt it, little girl.
This section will focus on the technical issues I encountered while playing this mod. The biggest bug was the game suddenly following a mission linked to Lance's vehicle disappearing. It only happened to me once, so fortunately it can be fixed. Another issue is the game suddenly crashing during the second encounter with Moesha. It crashed every time after the dialogue ended. After finishing the game, you can enter the flat where the last mission took place. Entering it causes the game to crash immediately. As for minor bugs, there's the pager, which I couldn't read very well. I think the problem here was the game's resolution, as I played in ultra-wide mode. That's it as far as my experience goes. Players, on the other hand, complain about problems launching the game. Sometimes certain missions can overwrite each other. A player noticed that a mission appeared in Lance's house, though he cannot launch it. Or a sudden crash after the first side mission. So when playing Backstabber Blues, I would advise you to remember to save the game frequently. I had a few problems, but we can all encounter different issues. It's time for a summary of this awesome mod. In my opinion, Backstabber Blues is one of the best mods for Vice City, and the best thing about it is that it's not over yet. A second chapter is set to be released in the future, which I'm looking forward to. The missions in the first chapter were phenomenal, very engaging. I hardly got bored playing through them. It's also great to see new places in Vice City that you can enter and explore. In total, I spent 5 hours playing through Backstabber Blues. I highly recommend you give this mod a go, you won't be disappointed.